Depending how bad the storm is, you know, it may have just been status quo. No result, you know, finalized the GC, no final stage podium.
But that would have put Carpenter and Garrison as 1-2, perhaps.
It's hard to say how they would finish the race.
Right.
You know, they just not outright, again, saying no result.
Yeah.
Or they might just say, yeah, we're gonna, you know, finish it how it went across the line, and there'd be a lot of emotions in that regard. But yeah, that's always what can happen with lightning.
Coming into today, we were talking a lot about Dario Raps and how he had the opportunity of going 3 for 3, but tonight he showed that he was not part of it. Brody McDonald taking the biggest win of his career here so far, and that says a lot. Brody has been racing at the very high level for a long time, came through like the Lux Junior program. He's been on a number of other great racing programs. He's won some collegiate titles with Milligan. So for him to take St. Francis Tulsa Tough here, I mean, I think that like perhaps changes some things for Brody.
Yeah, and you know, super stoked that we didn't get a European lockout this weekend. So
yeah, we got an interview on the finish line with Brody McDonald.
So I'm really glad to be back on top.
Take me through the day today. We saw that breakaway of 2 go away. I thought it might be gone. Were you ever panicking when we saw our break of 2 off the front?
I mean, when you think 2 guys, you really don't get too worried. But when it's guys like Garrison and Robin, it does get a little scary, but I knew I had a strong team with good legs on the hills like this, and I thought that they could pull it back, and in the end they did. So.
Talk to me about what this means for your team, the Golden State Blazers. Obviously, Tulsa, a big target. All those teams under the Williams family. What's this mean for the Golden State Blazers today?
I mean, I think it's huge. I think we've been so close so many times this year already, a lot of seconds, a lot of thirds, and we knew we were better than that as a team. We've had injuries that have held us back, but I think we're performing at the level we should be.
Have you had a chance to celebrate on Crybaby Hill yet, or am I keeping you from that right now?
You're keeping me. I got things to do.
Brody, are you aware that you're going to be on the podium for a couple things because you were also in the Omnium running? I'm going to be the first to tell you that you are the Omnium champion of Tulsa Tough 2025. How about that?
Wow, it really is amazing. I mean, a great team behind me, and I just couldn't have done it without them, really.
All the more reason to go celebrate on Crybaby Hill. We'll let you go do 1 lap, but you got to come right back for the podium, all right? Make a deal with me. Brody McDonald, your winner today and Omnium champion.
Oh, wow. Brody McDonald does it. Actually, we had a comment here in the YouTube that I was looking at. I think you guys saw me looking at it, that the math was such that Dario needed 12 points or 14th or better to overcome, and that McDonald had the math to win it. So thanks to that commenter there for helping us out. And it is official with Brad Soner telling us as much, that Brody McDonald is now your Omnium winner. So how about that? You are a multiple-time Omnium winner here, and now you're like a celebrity in Tulsa. Does that make Brody McDonald a celebrity status, or does he need like 3 or 4 more?
It puts him on the map for sure. You know, Tulsa does, you know, it's a bit of an elephant here. They have a really good memory. They really appreciate the athletes that come out here, win the Omnium. You know, it's in the news. Again, the community does such a good job making everybody feel like superstars. So if you do win, you are recognized. You know, Brody's going to come back and get that recognition for sure.
So in order to, while we're waiting for some of our podiums to wrap out, we are going to take a look back at the weekend. And so I was talking about this with Malcolm McCollum earlier in the broadcast, because Tulsa Tough, St. Francis Tulsa Tough is not just about elite bike racing. It is about community. It is about opportunities for people to get on bikes and to experience where they can find to it. Let's take a look out at the Anon Grand Fondos from this weekend.
River Parks Criterium.
Going to be getting to our podiums here really quickly. It sounds like Frankie is talking about it.
Please welcome from
and if we're going to go over to that, we can.
Hickey.
And Cassie Hickey now being announced at the podium. So let's jump over to that and recognize our women's pro podiums for today.
Yeah, and so the podium is defined by a point structure that's given out in the tech guide that all the riders see, that it could be, 30 points for the win, 28, 26, 24. So it's about accumulating points over the 3 days of racing. And so, yeah, even though a rider may win one or two stages, if somebody is more consistent over all three to accumulate the points, that's how they win the overall Omnium.
So as a points accumulation overall, we're now looking at today's stage results. So this is Riley McMullen winning today for the McElroy River Park Criterium, excuse me. Riley McMullen, your winner here for Virginia's Blue Ridge 2028 program. Alexis Magner from Siniska in second today, and Cassie Hickey for CCB Living Law Group in third. They're going to get the blue winner's jersey, and then we will shuffle our podium a little bit for the overall.
Over the shoulders and zipping up our Moo Tulsa Tough winner's jersey.
Riley finally getting her race win here at St. Francis Tulsa Tough. She's been very close, and in the past she's actually had a lot of teamwork to do, so for her to be able to claim the stage herself is probably very satisfying.
Yeah, with basically little to no help. She only had one teammate in Olivia Cummins, who racked up some preems, had some early representation, but Riley really just kind of took ownership of the result for today, just showing her world-class nature.
Tulsa Tough champagne celebration.
Oh, the old champagne pop here. So Riley, no stranger to this. There she goes.
Once again, congratulations, Riley McMullen, with the champagne celebration here in the third day of our St. Francis Tulsa Tough.
Alexis enjoying some of it, and Cassie Hickey.
Three great riders, and now moving on to our three riders in our overall.
Now we're going to jump over to the overall for our pro women.
And how did this shake out? Because Riley was in 6th place overall going into the final stage. We do know Alexis Magner won, but what other moving?
I think Cassie gets into third. Because
Riley McMullen third.
Oh.
So was Cassidy Hickey up there enough to secure?
She crossed the line third, so I think that gets her points. So she should be second.
Overall with the Stars and Stripes jersey.
You're right. Riley did move into third.
Ryan.
Wow.
Kendall held on to second, probably by the narrowest of margins.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to be.
I'd love to see that points breakdown.
At least 1 point, because if it was tied, Riley would have gotten it on the latest win.
Yep. Wow. So coming into today, Riley had 40 points, and Kendall had 58, as did her sister Alexis Magner with 58 coming into today. Based on stage result, Riley taking the stage win. Passing the crown. How sweet. Kendall Ryan, these two sisters racing with each other for their entire lives and continuing to do so. How great to see this. Alexis Magner, your Omnium winner here this year. Kendall Ryan in second, and Riley McMullen finishing out in third.
So what a just absolute good weekend for Riley and that Virginia Blue Ridge 2028 program.
Yeah.
To really rescue the weekend here on the last day.
She keeps it here.
Yeah, they only had two. Olivia Cummins, who is recovering from a crash at Collegiate National Championships, and then Riley actually did a big block of racing with teammates who are not here right now. She raced with us in Easton and Somerville. She also did DC. And now she's here. So Riley's been putting in a lot of car time over the past few weeks, and to cap it off with a race win at St. Francis Tulsa Tough must feel really good. Alexis Magner is one of the pros at the champagne toss, and she's showing us how it's done. Another sip from the bottle, and congratulations to them one more time. We'll see them at the after party, I'm sure, tonight, as they celebrate another fantastic weekend of racing here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Now for our overall winner, I'd like to be able to present Mark Abels, presenting a Chrono Sport watch by Selco. Very unique to Tulsa Tough. Going to your overall Omnium winner for our pro women. Once again, from Mark Abels.
Oh. All right.
Look at that. Ty Magner already has his eye on that watch. Hey, congratulations to our pro women. Like to be able to continue on with our celebration. Up next, our pro men.
All right, we're going to have our men's podium coming up next for our individual stage and then the Omnium overall. We apparently are still tabulating the results for the Omnium overall, while the commenter on our YouTube was correct as far as their math is concerned. Apparently, we're going to be looking at what the final placing of wraps was on the stage. So we're going to try and see if we can get full stage results, and then we will do some calculations here to understand who is the actual overall winner. Will it be McDonald, or will wraps have held it but with enough points?
All right, looks like we're ready to get started with our pro men's podium. Up first, we'll start with third place on the day. Riding for United Cycling, first up to the podium, welcome Evan McQuirk, third place.
All right, so Evan McQuirk of United getting himself a fantastic result for that program.
Second place, riding for Tecker Cycling. Next up is Alec Briggs.
And next up, Alec Briggs from Teckers, the team owner of that program from Great Britain. They're going to be heading home after this back to Europe for a blocker racing. Great British National Championships are coming up next on their big blocker racing. And your stage winner for the day, Brody McDonald, representing the Golden State Blazers. And in third place, Evan McQuirk for United. Fantastic result for Evan this year. Brody going to get the stage win jersey. The blue jerseys are the stage ones, and the pink ones are the Omnium overalls. And there you go, Evan McQuirk in third, Alec Briggs in second, and Brody McDonald, your winner here today. Brody taking a fantastic stage result.
Top three on the McElroy River Parks Criterium, final day of St. Francis Tulsa Tough. Brody going to get his Kuro sunglasses for the win. One more time for your top three on the final day.
I got a question on YouTube about where Preston I finished. I believe he finished fourth on the day, but that's unofficial. We don't actually have a printout yet of the final. But Preston was up there against McQuirk. Alec Briggs, McQuirk, and McDonald. Nicely done, gentlemen. Congratulations.
We'll move to our Omnium podium.
And now we're going to go to Omnium. Now we're going to figure out who actually got our Omnium.
Starting with third place overall today, it'll be an American on the blocks after 3 days of racing. Welcome to the podium, third overall, Danny Summerhill.
Okay, so Danny Summerhill is going to be officially third in our Omnium. Danny came in today with 48 points and second overall. Raps came in with 62 points from 2 stage wins.
On a tiebreaker, they counted back 3 ways into second place overall. It will be Brody McDonald, second
because
overall.
Dario has 2 wins.
Wow.
Versus 1 win.
It's not based on today?
No, because it's
And finally,
because he has two wins versus 1 win. If it would have been win versus win, it would have gone to today. But because he has 2 wins on countback, is how that's going to work.
Yikes, dude. That's a tough one, but rules are rules. That's how we do it, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is how complicated points omniums can get, and the chaos of Crybaby Hill and how much can happen, so it's like if we could just watch where Dario was, how that field sprint played out. Did he sprint all the way through? Did somebody give up?
Yeah.
I would imagine a guy like Dario was just sprinting for his life at the end, not knowing what happened, doing it
literally
over every point counted.
This is Dario Raps now taking the pink jersey for the Omnium overall. He won 2 stages. Brody McDonald won 1 stage. And due to that is how Dario Raps holds on to the Omnium overall. Wow. Congratulations, Dario Raps. Germany, you're celebrating. I know it's late early in the morning to Monday morning over where you are, but you should be very happy with DCC Alpecin this weekend. Dario Raps, a fantastic ride, trying to get himself all the way to the finish line today on a very challenging course, and there he goes. Celebrating with Danny Summerhill was ready for it with the glasses. Dario Raps on your top step. 2 stages here this season for the 2025 St. Francis Tulsa Tough, taking the overall win. Kisses on the heads for everybody. There's just so much emotion happening on the podium today. Brody McDonald in 2nd for the Omnium overall. He came into today in 4th place with 43 points. Summerhill came into 48. And there we go. So big hugs. And there we go. Being presented with the watches and big thanks. Let's take a look back at our weekend. Dario Raps is your Omnium champion. Dario getting himself 2 stage wins. We're now looking at the FC Tulsa Arts District Criterium win from last night, outpacing Danny Summerhill and Brody McDonald. If McDonald had gotten 2nd last night, he would have won the Omnium. We got a wow, millimeters. I'm happy for everybody right now.
Yeah,
this is great bike racing. Great bike racing here this weekend. We had so many fantastic moments. I mean, I think you start from Friday night at the McNelly Group Blue Dome Racing with our pro women, where, oh my gosh, what an exciting finish. Then Dario finishing out that night with his first of 2 wins. Then last night with our women in the FC Tulsa Arts District, another fantastic sprint finish where Alexis Magner showed us how it was done, and Dario again sprinting as we just saw. And then today, absolutely crazy again. Another breakaway that was brought back in the men's race, and our women sprinting to fantastic finishes, and Riley McMullen getting herself her first St. Francis Tulsa Tough win.
Yeah, the weekend just started out with just absolute fireworks from both women and the men. It carried into the second day, and day 3 was there was a little bit of a dip because of the heat. At day 3 of racing, how hard this course is, and it just went down and then just absolutely ramped back up for both finishes to leave us here on a high note. Nail-biting finishes, GC shakes-ups, just all sorts of stuff. It leaves you wanting more. I'm ready for 2026.
Yeah.
What teams are going to show up that want to be a part of year 20 of this spectacular thing. So Techers, Alex is going to come back motivated with a full team. DCC wants to come back and return. The Legion program has something to fight for, that they were 2nd and 3rd this year. They want something different. Cadence has got to be motivated. They want to right the ship. So there's a lot of stories that were written today. Then Chapter 2 is going to be next year. It could be a barn burner if everybody comes back motivated with more horsepower. Could be crazy.
20th edition next year, right here for the St. Francis Tulsa Tough. Big shout out to Zico for presenting our sponsor, our broadcast booth here this year, and of course Quick Trip for being the presenting sponsor of the broadcast overall. We loved having you tune along and follow us on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Gabe Lloyd. This is Daniel Holloway. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next year for the 20th edition of the St. Francis Tulsa Tough.
Thanks, everyone.